Series. Unfortunately, today's guest is unable to attend as they're having a few computer issues. So I was hit with the face of either cancelling a show or doing something else. And I've decided in this occasion, I'm doing something else. I get asked a lot on referral strategies for different businesses. So I thought, what better way to come out and just give some great free content. So if you're looking to grow your business by referral, here's a couple of things I want you to focus on. If you've had issues where you've referred business in the past and it's not worked out, I want you to type those types of questions in the question bar. If you've got a referral partner and you haven't received the amount of referrals that you want to be getting from them, then pop those in the chat bar, and I'm going to be showing you on today's presentation on how you can get an extra $600,000. You heard it right, $600,000 worth in referred business. So this particular live is going to go out to people who have tried referrals, but it's not necessarily worked. I'd love you to join me on the call. Anyway, my name is Glenn Kirkwood, aka That Referral Guy. Most people know me as a referral specialist. And I'm going to be doing a presentation that I've done for somebody else before, or a group of businesses before. Absolutely crushed it. So I'm just going to share with you my screen right now, and I'm going to throw it up here. So I want to start by sort of saying, where are you? Are you in the now part and you're traveling along the white line and you're looking out into the future and it was all looking great? And then COVID-19 hit, didn't it? And you might have been going on the yellow button, along the yellow line or the red line. Absolute disaster. And sometimes some businesses were in disaster because of COVID-19, just the way that they had it structured. So what I want to do is share with you a couple of ideas on how you can make it go back to the white, even come through and make it the new normal. You could go to purple, or if not blue. And if you take on the advice in the very, very early stages, it doesn't have to cost you all that much. And the longer and longer you go along the line, the more it's actually going to cost you to get back up to that line, or the growth is you're going to experience the reward in that. So here we go. So it's not going to work really well. Let me see if I can get rid of that particular banner or branding. So if I just scroll down and have no branding. Oops, no branding. Here we go. It's not going to work either. I don't want any branding to be there. Maybe this one will work. No. Oh well. Looks like we've got an overlay today, but we've got no way of getting across the top. But anyway, what's the top slide is how can you actually grow? All right. So I want you to think about growing your business by an additional 600K. Okay. Now, there's a couple of different things that you need to consider. First of all, you could advertise. Now, I certainly believe in advertising. It's a great way to grow your business. But what happens if you actually have spent your advertising budget and you don't have any more in reserves, but you haven't generated the income you need for your business to grow? Okay. Second of all, public relations. Now, public relations is a great way to grow your business, except that it requires skill. In either to write the articles, or you've got to spend a lot of time in developing the relationships with the journalists. Know the syndications that you need to be across. It's not just about getting in any magazine or any newspaper or any radio for that fact. You have to think about what their audience are. So it requires a little bit of prep time. Cold calling. Now, this is something that comes up, and we've all probably done it, but cold calling is great, but it's not people's preferred way to do business. And then, of course, referrals. But that also takes a lot of time, and it takes it takes people a long time to actually get to know your business and to refer your business, but there is a better way in how to do that. And it's your approach to either networking or referral generation that will determine the difference of just going on and spending a lot of time or actually getting a lot of results. So what is a client worth to you? And for the argument presentation, it could be, I want you to think about an average client. It could be worth $50, $500. For some people on the call today, it could be worth $5,000 or even $50,000. But just for argument's sake, today I actually want to talk about it just being about 500. Now, if you think about your business, if you could handle 2 referrals a week, and that's $1,000, and there's 52 weeks in a year, that's $52,000 increase just by getting 2 referrals a week. That's fantastic if they're successful. But I want you to think about the benefits of what's actually happening there in terms of receiving a referral. First of all, receiving a referral is a very low cost to actually getting a client. In fact, most of the time it's free, all right? If you think about someone was at a barbecue and mentioned that they had a need or they had something going on in their life, and somebody else came in and said, well, you need to speak to Glenn. He can absolutely help you with that situation. That's what's happening. So there's very little cost to actually getting a new client on board, okay? Second of all, the conversion is a lot higher because your friend or contact or somebody who's introduced you has done all the pre-selling for you. Generally speaking, it's around about 80 to 90%. And I've literally interviewed hundreds of people on this. The conversion rates of referrals are really, really high. There's no selling because the selling's already been done for you. So you need to just walk into, tell me more about your situation. Tell me why you think we're a good fit. Or let's get to the root of the problem first. And you don't actually have to run through any sort of robotic selling sort of process and telling them all about you. It's already been done, okay? And fourthly of all, my goodness, Glenn, where's your education and where's your English and your proper grammar? My last point being the referrals, the people that come to you who are referred are generally great referrer sources as well. That's the way that they understand and they do introductions quite easily. So you can get a lot of business out of them. And that's really where I want you to think about. You can gear your business up to being focused on referrals, or you can focus on people who are in positions to refer you a lot more clients, okay? Because there are 2 types of referrals. There's the customer referral, and that's what a lot of people focus on, or there's the referral partner, okay? Now, I ran a franchise that focused on getting referrals, and not everybody understood this particular process, all right? So you can either focus on actually get me more referrals, or you can focus on someone who you want to build a relationship with and they refer clients. And some people are in better positions than others to be able to refer you work, okay? So let's have a look at the client cycle from when you're looking for referrals just from a customer's perspective. First of all, you as a business owner have to identify that referral, the type of person that you want to speak to, the person that you can help the most, okay? You then have to go around and find out how you actually are going to attract those people into your circle. It could be through different Facebook groups or publications or PR or newspaper, but you have to work out where and how are you going to attract them. You need to work out how you're going to nurture the particular prospect. You know, I was working with a photographer the other day, and we built an automated nurturing campaign. I called it the short-term nurture, which is about 3 days on education about her and her business and her family and her interests, and then communication a lot less, every 2 to 3 weeks, but it was all about her and her business, okay? Then at some point, there's got to be a sale. Somebody has to buy something, all right? This is when the prospect now turns into a client, okay? They have an experience on that whole sort of process from when they've been found, nurtured, and then sold to or bought something, okay? And then depending on the opportunities that are in front of them, their friends and family, that sort of thing, there's a number of time, then they go and refer you on, okay? So that's from the customer's perspective. Let's think about it from a partner's perspective. Now, you still have to do the same identifying what you think is a good prospect for you. Some people call it your ideal type of client. It could be in a certain geography. It could be a demographic. You want sex or age, or they might have to have a certain amount of equity in their home. But you have to profile what the client looks like and the problem that they have. You still have to do that yourself. Still have to find out where are they hanging out, all right? You need to build a relationship with them though, okay? You need to train them. Now remember, this is a referral partner. So an example of that might be, say you're an accountant and you identify that you're dealing with small business owners. You find out, where do accountants hang out? Now, they might be trade shows, they might be industry events, they might be associations, but you find out where those referral partners are going to hang out. You build a relationship with them. And that's what the last business I was in, it was all about building the relationship. You have to train them on how they will find you work, the types of clients. But the more you invest in them, the more opportunities, because they're looking out for you all the time with all of their customers. And they look through all of their customer list, and they have hundreds of them. Okay, then you just pull them in. You do what I call pull the trigger. This is just to say, away you go out and find me business. Then you've got to be able to bring them back and give them educational feedback. And this is where a lot of people struggle. I was on a call this morning with an accountant, and he was in a referral group, and he was struggling on how to give people constructive feedback on why he wasn't referring them, or he felt compelled to refer them because they were in his group. Now, I've seen a lot of this on online forums and stuff like that. First of all, you shouldn't be referring someone because they're in your group. You should be referring them because they're the right person. The client is the right person for this particular contact. All right. It doesn't make sense for you to turn to your prospect and saying, I'm referring you because this person's in my group. That's not going to matter to them. You should refer the person who can help the most. Okay. So you've got to be able to provide educational feedback for those people and tell them, that's a great opportunity for me. Thanks for finding that particular client. And if it's not good, you need to give them that sort of feedback too. So generally speaking, I find that most people, when they find your referral, the first type they find is not the type of client you're after, okay? But unless you give them some feedback, they're just going to find more of those people for you. So you need to sit down with them. First of all, thank them for bringing you a contact or a referral, and then educate them on if that's a good opportunity, or it's not a good opportunity, and why, and what you would like to get them to say next time or look out for. It's that sort of educational feedback that has them moving more towards the type of client that you're after, okay? And then repeat. Now, when you look at the two models the same, they are very, very similar, except that the build, the train, the trigger, and the educational component is completely different in the referral partner situation versus it is in the customer referral situation. It does take time, but my experience is that you will 10 yield looking for referral partners versus getting customers to refer you, okay? This process that you invest in people actually saves a lot of time. Now, when I first started, there was my model, and then I worked with a great guy called Steve Brosnan, and we actually have a referral profit formula. So anyone, if you get in the chat bar, I will share that with you. It's got a little bit more structure around it. So just send me a private message or just comment underneath here. I'd love the blueprint, and I'll send that off to you. All right. So I want you to think about what is a client worth to you, how I asked you in the very, very beginning. And we worked out that, the average referral was $500. You were getting 2 of those a week, and that was $52,000, all right? So if you look at the referral partnership, you think it's the same client because it's still the same $500, but how many clients do you think one of your referral partners might have? Okay, because they could have 2, 3, 4, 1,000 types of client, 1,000 clients. Well, even if you say, if I got 300 of them over the next, couple of years, that's $150,000. You really only need to build 4 partners to be generating you $600,000. And when you look at it like that, you're sort of going, actually, I can see how this saves me time, because I'm only looking for 4 referral partners that over time, if I train them right, will refer me or introduce me to 300 of their clients. And the only way that they're going to know the type of clients that I want is if I train them. And 4 people is not a lot of people to train. You can train them on a weekly basis. You can train them on through lunches. But if you spend the time training them, they will end up getting you the results. So I want you to have a look at some of previous people that I've worked with. Here's a gentleman called Mark Kentwell. When I first started working with Mark, he was a young guy just out of the mines, and he'd stayed up a business with his father, Alan Kentwell. They started out PRD nationwide at Newcastle. Now, Mark's a personal friend and has been a client for many, many years. And I'm proud to say that I look at Mark today, who has a very expansive and fantastic business in Newcastle, has about 55 salespeople working for him. One of the young guys that I like to watch a lot of is Ryan. So big shout out to Ryan if you see this. I love seeing your journey, mate. But I've seen a lot of people being mentored with Mark, and he just adopted this particular process about referral partners from a very, very early on in, I guess, our working career. Then there was another person, Janine Harris, who came to me back in, I think, 2007. She had a business called Club Financial. She was a mortgage broker. And through our work together, she met a guy called Dan Walsh. And in this last slide, you can see how just behind Dan, there's a door. They actually bought 2 premises, and they knocked out a wall between them, and they used to just walk clients through to one another. And I look at that and sort of think, wow, what a great referral partnership that was. Very, very profitable, both people. End up becoming lifelong friends. So I've seen the examples how people focus on building referrals by customers, and I've seen examples of people building referral partners. The referral partners is definitely a better and more profitable way to go. And as you can see with Janine and Dan, it was very much a fun way to go. So I want to flick it out and see if there's any questions. Oh, I do have some questions. Let me read this one. It says from Sharon. I'm just going to pop it up here. I was traveling along the white line. Now I'm between the yellow and the blue line. During this quiet time, I'm concentrating on advertisement on Facebook and currently offering new services. Great. However, I do get referrals from the clients who I've worked with in the past. I need to get new referrals from new clients. My referrals do come with word of mouth. Yeah, absolutely, Sharon. And thanks very much for that. You bring up a couple of good points here. Thanks very much for being on my live today. You're the first person that I've actually done on my Facebook page where I can come up and show their photo. So I really appreciate that. Referrals are great, and sometimes they just come very sporadically from people. But my guess is that if you met with some of the people who are currently passing your referrals and gave them feedback, and you worked at more of a structured sort of approach, that they would be able to refer you more business, Sharon. You want to get the relationship to the point where basically what's happening is they're opening up their diary for the next 12 months or next month and sort of saying, these are all the opportunities, Sharon, that I'm going to for my business. Which ones would be a good fit for you? I find that when you do that sort of thing, you get more referrals sorts of coming through. Now, you probably can only afford to do that again with about 4 to 5 relationships. So think about the time invested with these particular people. Have a look and see if they've got good relationships with their clients and if they've got a good database. Yeah. Anyway, that's a great comment there, Sharon. I'd love it if you're still online. If you could comment on what was your conversion rate when you are getting referrals coming through. Do you agree with me being at around about 60, 70, 80, 90%? In terms of turning them into a client when they come to you by referral. And if you are traveling along, say the white line, and you want to be going more towards the purple and the blue line, you need to invest in people, all right? And you need to invest in the right sort of people. So if you want to have a chat about that, feel free. I'd love to be able to help you. Just send me a PMD, a private message, and I'll book out some time and just give you a couple of tips on what you could be doing on how to develop those referral partners better, because you do need to put a little bit of structure behind it so that you've got a training pattern for them. Anyway, that's about all I have today. I just wanted to get on, and I didn't want this to be people come along to my live today and we didn't have a guest. So I thought, you know what, I'll take the spot myself and I'll do a little bit of training, get you to focus on referral partners rather than just getting referrals. And yeah. All right, then. This is Glenn Kirkwood, aka That Referral Guy, signing off with a reminder to make, build, and share connections. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.